Hey, what's going on? Ray DelVecchio here from websiteprofitcourse.com. Today, we're going to talk about the difference between Wix and WordPress. This is a pretty frequent comparison when people are looking to create a website and they want to figure out which website builder to use. So I'll show you examples of each. We'll go through some of the similarities and differences, and at the end, I'll give you my final verdict. So the first thing that you're probably wondering about is price. And really, any website builder that makes things easier for you to design, they're generally going to cost more and you're going to get less power. So if you look at the cost here, if you go month to month, Wix is $18 a month, whereas WordPress with HostGator web hosting, which is one of the more affordable starter web hosting companies out there, that's only $8 a month. If you go yearly, get an annual plan, Wix will be $168, whereas WordPress will be $48. And you can do up to a 3-year term, so Wix will be at $360 if you do that. The starter discount on HostGator with WordPress is going to run you about $99. Obviously, we can see here that if you're looking to save money, WordPress is the way to go. Next up is the design. So we're going to jump into Wix in a second here, but Wix and WordPress operate fairly similarly. With Wix, you pick a template. According to their advertising, they had 500 templates available, or over 500. I don't know if they gave you a specific number. And I looked at the blog category, and it looks like they had 68 templates that were designed specifically for blogging. Now, I think through their app market, you can just add a blog onto any template. But then if you go over to WordPress, the template equivalent in WordPress is just a WordPress theme. And you can swap out your themes to change your design. And as of today, I went on the WordPress theme repository. They have 7,986 available. You have a lot more options with WordPress because Wix has a proprietary website builder. You know, they have to add on all the templates, whereas with WordPress, it's open source software and any third-party software developer can create a WordPress theme and upload it to the WordPress theme repository. That's why you have so many more on WordPress. And this is kind of a blessing and a curse because, you know, there's a lot of low-quality WordPress themes out there. There's a lot of great ones out there, and there's also premium themes where you pay a yearly fee, not just for the advanced features of the theme, but also to get support on that theme if you need help with anything. Any of the services that have their templates bundled into it, they generally are going to offer that as part of their monthly package. You might need to do a little bit more, research or DIY to tweak things on WordPress compared to Wix. But I want to jump into the Wix builder to show you how that looks and what I think about it compared to WordPress. So here's the Wix dashboard, and I just went ahead, created a free Wix website, which they put on a subdomain. You can see the URL here. And frankly, I had never used this before. The first time I logged in, I thought to myself, this kind of looks like WordPress. It looks like they tried to take most of the features from WordPress, which existed before Wix did, and maybe simplify it a little bit. But frankly, I don't think that coming into Wix with no knowledge is that much easier than WordPress. I guess the one advantage is they let you do everything with drag and drop. So if I click the Site Actions button, I go to Edit Site. This is going to open up the Wix editor. And you'll be able to see the drag and drop system here. So I got this loaded up. They actually brought up this little code box. So if you want to write custom code, you can do this here. This is something that's also available within WordPress, so I'll just minimize that. And this is the home page. We have our menu up here. If we click on any of these elements, it's going to bring up buttons to manage it, manage the menu. We could change the layout if we want to align something to the left, to the right. Frankly, I think a lot of these features are similar to what WordPress has now with the block editor. It came preloaded with content, and I just made this text a little bit bigger, added the bold style to it. Down here, this is the Wix Pro Gallery. So if I click Manage Media, you'll see how you can upload new pictures to this gallery. You can add a link over here. And I feel like I'm going to say this a bunch. This is just like WordPress, where they have their own media library where you can insert images, upload images. This Pro Gallery layout might be a little bit nicer out of the box than what you would get from WordPress. And again, the thing about WordPress is there's so many options. Wix has this single gallery element or module, whatever you want to call it. With WordPress, there might be a gallery view built into the WordPress theme that you have installed that's specific to that theme. And there's probably dozens and dozens of other gallery plugins that you can add. And we'll talk about WordPress plugins in a little bit here. But generally, there's like 10 or 15 times the amount of solutions on WordPress, which usually means a better solution. But finding that better solution is a little bit more complicated than, using a single gallery element like this. This is a strip element, and I added this marble background image to it. Here's another, good feature with Wix that doesn't come with WordPress, and that's stock photos built into their builder. With WordPress, you're going to need to either use the stock photos that are part of the theme, or you're going to have to download your own or use your own photos. In today's day and age, this is not a difficult thing to do. There's sites out there like unsplash.com or pexels.com, which allow you to find free stock photos to use. This is a common theme. With Wix, things are integrated a little bit more tightly. With WordPress, things are a little bit more distributed, and you have to figure things out on your own. But there's generally more solutions out there for WordPress than Wix. And just scrolling down, these are some of the blog posts that they already had published on here. So I think this layout is pretty nice looking. And then the About Me section, you can tell I did not update this because that's not me. I am not Mrs. Frost. And down in the bottom right, one other cool thing that Wix has is the chat widget. This is something that's not built into WordPress. You have to add it through a third-party service or through a plugin. But that's a useful feature to have. I'd say more so for businesses than a personal blog. Usually a contact form or comment section is good enough for that. And the last thing on here is the email newsletter sign up, which that is very important for blogging. You want to build your audience, so when you publish new things, you can send it to your email list and have viewers almost immediately. So let's take a look at this live website. Here it is, and the first thing you'll see at the top of the website is this Wix promotional bar. This is required if you only are using a free Wix website under their subdomain. You have to go with a premium paid plan if you want to get rid of this and add on your custom domain name. That's what we talked about with that pricing slide. And you can see how everything looks here. As we hover over this, it looks like the contrast between the hover color and the background isn't good enough. That's something that I probably want to change. It looks like they keep track of people who like posts. I can just hit that heart button and like it. Let me go into one of these blog posts and you'll see what that looks like. So we have a secondary menu up here dividing our blog posts into holidays: Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Easter, 4th of July. And when it comes to writing the blog post, I feel like that experience is also very similar to WordPress. It looks like they have an editor which is almost identical to the block editor. They have a little recent posts widget down here so people can continue browsing. And you see if we hit this chat button, how that works. We have this powered by Ascend by Wix, which I think that's another add-on service where they might give you this for free. But to get rid of that branding and maybe to do a certain number of messages, you might have to pay more. I don't know exactly how they charge for that. So just like WordPress, they have, upsells and other features that you can add on depending on your needs. Let me go back to the blog editor. From the Wix dashboard, we have this blog section, and this is where we can go into our posts. You can see our list of posts here. They show us any unpublished changes that we have with this little warning icon. And if we click in here, you'll see the editing experience. It's very simple. And like I said, the WordPress block editor does the same thing with adding this little plus button if you want to add a section. They have the same thing where they have different modules you can choose from based on the type of content. And in fact, WordPress has more options. We keep coming back to that theme. Wix simplifies a little bit, and the sacrifice is you don't get as much power. So from a pure blog writing and editing experience, I don't think there's any advantage to Wix versus WordPress. I just touched on this a little bit with both platforms, but the way that you can add functions to your website is through the built-in tools with Wix. They also have something called the App Market. The equivalent to the App Market on WordPress is plugins, and some of the features that you can add with WordPress, they have to be built into the theme. And I want to go through both dashboards on Wix and WordPress to show you each. So this is where WordPress and Wix differ the most, and that's under the blog section, you have different tools on Wix that are more marketing oriented and that kind of thing built in. Whereas WordPress is more generic, it lets you install themes and plugins. A lot of the features that might come built into Wix have to be built into a theme within WordPress, or you have to integrate with third-party services. So you can see here they have a customer management section. This is where you get those responses for that chat box or any contact forms. It looks like they have a CRM. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management, and that's generally how salespeople and businesses keep track of their customers and the communication that they have with them. And just like with the chat box, they're offering this upgrade. They want you to upgrade to get more features. Let me click on that and see what kind of packages they have. And here you go. It looks like with the basic package, you can send 5 email campaigns a month, 10 forms with unlimited fields. You get your personalized chat box, 7 automations. That's also just an email campaign that gets sent out automatically. And this goes up to $49 a month for unlimited. We'll go back to the main menu. And these are where they have the marketing tools, SEO. I'm going to imagine that they want you to upgrade something here. And they actually have a built-in link here to hire an SEO professional. So they must operate a network of Wix professionals if you'd like to hire people. All of these things are pretty simple features, that I'm looking at here: site verification, URL redirects, site maps. This is all stuff that you can do with WordPress plugins or through your hosting company. They also have an analytics section, finances if you want to send quotes or accept payments. And then down here under the apps, this is where you can get to the app market. So let's see what they have available under the app market. It looks like we have upgraded site search, advanced visitor analytics, an easier to use form builder, Instagram Pro integration, social media stream that works with Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, Instagram. We got a couple trending apps, Printful if you want to design and sell on-demand products. You got pop-up forms, which helps with catching people before they leave your site to get their email address. And we have an option for bookings, forums. So like I said, this is almost the direct equivalent to WordPress plugins. Let me jump over to the WordPress dashboard and we'll take a look at what's available there. I'm over here logged into WordPress and I'm in the plugins add new section where you can see the plugins that are available to add to your WordPress website. And these are very similar to what you see on the Wix app market. The most popular one here is Contact Form 7, which is a contact form builder. If you want to improve your SEO, the most popular plugin for that is Yoast SEO on WordPress. If you want to add products, the most popular e-commerce plugin is WooCommerce down here. If you'd like to make your design drag and drop, there's plugins and themes that allow you to do that. Like this one here, Elementor, is an example of that. And I also have a full tutorial of how to build a business website using a premium theme called Divi, which is, I think, a little bit better than Elementor. But ultimately, it just comes down to what you're comfortable with. I'll link that up in the top right if you want to check it out. And once again, the big difference here is that WordPress plugins can be developed by anyone. You can write your own custom WordPress plugins and install it on your website if you'd like. Or if you want to make premium plugins and sell them, you can do that. Everything that's on that Wix page, I'm pretty sure that they have to build and release that because it's their own platform. Whereas WordPress is open source. Anybody can download it and install it and customize it on any hosting company. And so you have a lot more power and flexibility. And let's just go up here and search, Instagram. We'll see what comes up as options to integrate your Instagram feed. And we got a handful of ways to do it. You're going to have to do a little bit more testing when it comes to WordPress plugins. I think there's probably more functions available on WordPress through plugins than there would be through Wix. You're probably going to find some kind of limitation on Wix that you can get through either with a custom WordPress plugin or testing out some of these options that solve things for you. And I generally like to look at when the plugin was last updated and how many active installations there are, along with the stars. You can see this one has over 1 million active installations. It's got a 5-star rating with over 3,000 reviews, and it was last updated a month ago, which is not too bad. Usually you're going to see active plugins that get updated every couple of weeks, and you might have some plugins that haven't been updated in a year or 2 years or 3 years. I'd be a little bit more hesitant to add those kind of plugins. And if you find a plugin you like, you can see who developed the plugin, which company created it, and this is going to link to their website. So you can go to all these different plugin developers' websites and see if they have other plugins that might be useful for you. But for the most part, you can get by with a lot of free plugins without having to upgrade the same way that you might need to with Wix to use some of their apps. We kind of went through how you can customize your Wix website using their generic drag and drop editor, along with whatever template you choose. And the other thing that I noticed with them is they have a separate drag and drop editor so you can customize the mobile design. And I actually don't like this. I think the mobile design should be integrated with the desktop design, and it should just adjust based on the browser width. And that doesn't happen with Wix. With WordPress, it's going to be theme specific, but for the most part, most WordPress themes are responsive. And the way that you can customize them is by going into your theme specific settings, and then also through widgets, which the theme developer is going to add certain areas of the website where you can use these WordPress widgets that are built in to make things a little bit easier to customize. So let me just show you that right now. Over in the WordPress admin area, I'm in the appearance theme section, and this is where you're going to see your installed themes. You get to choose whichever one you want to go on the live website. And I actually have 2 themes installed here, 2020 and 2021, which is an early version of next year's WordPress default theme. There's also one other thing I want to mention, and that is with WordPress, the theme itself is kind of like the template, and you want to create a child theme which inherits from that template, and you customize the child theme as opposed to the main theme. And the reason you do that is because, like I mentioned before with the plugins, themes are also updated regularly. So if you were to add your changes to the theme, they might get overwritten. So the first thing you want to do after you pick a theme is install a child theme. Like all things WordPress, there's a free plugin to do that. And then once you have your theme installed, you can go over to this Customize section, and this is going to show you all the options that are available to you to update your site. So this is a really simple blog that I put together. And frankly, I think most people focus way too much on design at the beginning, and instead of writing and adding content, photos, whatever you want to communicate through your blog, you shouldn't become a designer if you have no design experience. You can have the most simplistic black and white website, and as long as the content is good, you'll get readers. You'll never do anything if you're just trying to perfect the design. So I made a free training on how to create a blog just like this, which I'll link up in the description below and at the end of the video. But all you want to do is just go through all these options. The site identity, this is where you have your logo, which right now my logo is just my name. Your site title and tagline. You can pick your icon, which shows up in the browser bar up here. You go over here to select your colors. So I'm not going to go through all of these. You can check that out within the training that I have. But the important thing to note here is that these options are going to be different based on what theme you have installed. Like I said, whoever created the theme, they can customize the options that are available for you to edit. So with one theme, you might have a gallery option within here, but obviously with this one, you don't see that. It's important with WordPress to find a theme you like and stick with it and learn that one theme deeply. That's especially true if you want to create websites for other people and freelance with that skill. If you're always going from theme to theme, you kind of need to learn the new themes as you go along, whereas if you stick with one, you can become an expert at it and become much, much faster and understand how everything's put together. And let me exit out of here without saving any of this. And I'll show you the widgets section. So you can see we have 2 widget areas here, footer 1 and footer 2. And these are the various content types that you can just drag and drop into here. I have 2 in my footer section, a custom HTML piece of code, which I grabbed from MailChimp. That's the third-party email service that I use. And then we also have an archive section here, which is going to show our past blog posts. And then from WordPress, if I hover over the title of the blog and click Visit Site, we can visit the live website. And I'll just show you that footer area, which is all the way down here. So this is the email opt-in form, that custom HTML section, and this is our archive section. So those are the two main areas that you can use to update your WordPress design. Unless you have a theme or plugin specific to do drag and drop, that's not going to be available for the majority of WordPress themes. But like I said, I don't think you should get caught up on that as a beginner. Get your site out there and launch it and start writing. You may have guessed it by now, but my choice by far is WordPress. I like having the power and the flexibility that WordPress offers, even if that means it's a little bit less simple to use. And like I said here, this was my first time going through Wix, and I didn't find it that much more intuitive or easier than WordPress. So I think that you'll have a similar, learning curve regardless of which platform you choose. And when it comes to price, when it comes to power, and when it comes to flexibility, WordPress beats Wix 100% of the time. But ultimately, it's what you're most comfortable with. So if for some reason you decide to set up a Wix website and you prefer them, by all means go for it. I'm more concerned about you getting an online web presence set up and starting to publish as soon as you can. But if you like WordPress, I do have some training that will help you out. If you just would like an overview and better explanation of how WordPress works, sign up for my free WP 101 training, which you can get from websiteprofitcourse.com/WP101. That's going to explain things in simple terms, and you'll get a full tour of the WordPress admin area that we were just looking at. And if you specifically want a blog, like the one that I just showed you, you can see exactly how to set that up step by step within 14 days. And that goes beyond just the website side, but also gets into the marketing and content strategy. So I recommend you go through that course. If you have any questions along the way, ask me. And you can sign up to that free training at 14dayblog.com. I'll link that up here in the top right. And all these links that I discussed throughout this video will be in the description below. Last but not least, give this video a thumbs up if you learned something about Wix or WordPress. Make sure you subscribe to my channel to get all new tutorials. Obviously, these platforms update pretty frequently, so I try my best to stay on top of it and let you know what you need to succeed and what is the extra stuff that you don't have to worry about. And if you have any thoughts on the Wix versus WordPress debate, leave it in the comments below. Like I said, I'm a very big WordPress advocate. I've used them for the longest time, and I've just found that you can pretty much solve any problem with WordPress. I don't think that's the case with these other website builders, but they're big for a reason because some people like them out there. And if that's you, I'm not holding it against you. Whatever it takes to get online is the right way to do it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you have a great day.